finally, after hopefully you caught some of that knowledge and you're like, okay, now at least I know what to look out for. Damien's list of fake sites posted on dutyfreecubancigars.com. Solo Cigars, Royal Habanos, True Cuban Cigars, Big Smokers Online, Cuban Cigar Lounge, Habanos CR, Go Cubans, Buy Cuban Cigars Online, Cigar Online Pub, Finest Cigars, and Cigars of Cuba. Now we're getting to an interesting place. He says, all fakes, and no doubt the same person is operating several or all of these sites. And he knows his shit, let me tell you. He really does. He does know his shit. So, that's that. The last two I left there for a reason. Going back to Paul's original statement when he said, when he said he looked at the duty-free Cuban cigars, one site is a vendor you're familiar with, that was the one, Finest Cigars. He mistook that I had said they were a legitimate site, when in fact I said Finest Cuban Cigars is a legitimate site. Cigarsofcuba.com, I didn't even, when I saw that on the list, I was like, holy shit, because Cigars of Cuba and Cigars-of-Cuba are two different sites. By the way, all these sites are .com sites. So those are two different sites. These people, I said in a post before, copying, counterfeiting, sure, it's a way to make money. But there's a million ways to make money. How does one get into it? It's a fucking sickness. It's like kleptomania. It's like fucking people who have to steal. They're in a store, there's nothing they need or even want, but they shove something in their fucking pocket because they have to. They're psychologically damaged, these fucking people. They have to cut. It's just like counterfeiting is in their blood. It's what makes their heart beat. It's what makes them get off. They can't help themselves. So it's not only the bands and the boxes and the fucking cigars and the sites, but it's right down to the fucking name of the site. They will try to confuse buyers by choosing a URL that very closely resembles, as close as they can, a legitimate site. So you make the mistake, somebody tells you at work, hey buddy, great site I got for you, Finest Cuban Cigars. And you go home and remember, like, what was that, Finest Cigars? And a cigar site pops up selling Cuban cigars, so you're like, well, that must be it. Same thing, especially cigarsofcuba.com, because the only thing separating the two is two hyphens on either side of the of. Now, it's funny because I would think that obviously the fake site copies the real site, so the real site had the hyphen. I would think it would be the other way around, that the fake site has the hyphens, you know? But whyever, I guess he thought it would be better for the search engine. Some people do that, and they you know, that it would pick up cigars in Cuba, not mushed in with of, and it would pick up those words. Might be a search engine thing. All I can tell you is I've ordered from them. The Romeo Short Churchills actually came from them. Cigars-of-Cuba.com. Romeo Short Churchills. And they're a good site. They're very similar in their product line to Cigar One. However, they're a few dollars cheaper. But, you know. So, now that we're talking about that, we might as well move on. But I hope to God you just listen to this. If this is the last thing I ever say, if I say this and then take a puff of this cigar and keel over, please, trust me. Trust me. There is no box of Cuban cigars for $100. There just isn't. There isn't. Think of something on the American market you want. I don't know, a real diamond ring, a fucking Mercedes-Benz, you know, a house. You can't get it for $100. It doesn't happen. If somebody offered you any of those for $100, you'd say, go fuck yourself, you're full of shit. You'd know they were trying to pull your fucking leg. But for some reason, people just think of shopping in a humidor where you go, wherever you go, in the city or in your town, or you walk in there, you want a box of fucking, I don't know, you want a box of Davidoff Grand Cru. Well, it's $350, $400. It's not $100. If you want a box of anything, if you want a box of fucking Dominican cohibas, it's not $100. Why would a box of Cuban cohibas be $100? Understand, my friends, there is no tax loophole. There is none of all that shit that they tell you there is. All there is real Cuban cigars at real prices, not $100 fucking dollars. It just does not work that way. Does not work that way. I get skeptical whenever I see a box of Siglo 6 start to dip below 500. You know, let's say 450 and better, at least. You know, I start getting iffy when I see a box of Esplendidos under 650, under 600. You know, I see them out there on some real sites that are supposedly real for like 575, and I start to be like, they're expensive, man. That's just the way they fucking are. So, that being said, let's look at a few emails and reveal the list of vendors that you should be using, or at least can use, and I will guarantee you, if you use anybody on this list, you will get nothing but real, genuine, authentic, whatever fucking fill-in word you want to use, Cuban cigars, just like the ones I'm fucking smoking. Not like the ones big smokers online want to say. So as we went through so much of that, I've been smoking this very good the whole time, and definitely picking up strength. Kept that same profile. The sour note's very low compared to the Partagas with that sharp, just like, you know, heavy duty twang. It comes and goes, ebbs and flows. Mostly it's earthy. There's in the second half you have a bit of coffee beans starting to come in and some leathery notes, especially toward the middle end of the second half, the second third, and now picking up into the final third. I do have a nice coffee-esque leathery profile going on the back. It's almost like the entire flavor of the cigar shifted from the front to the back, you know. But there's still, it's moving back. There still is a lot going on up front. Nice amount of spice. Very, very good. Medium bodied still. The smoke is creamy. It's thickening as the cigar progresses. Very much in a lot of ways like the Bolivar, I'll say it again. Except that this is more refined as far as, you know, it's not as just like bang, hit you in the face strength and flavor. But it's very, very good, and it has a lot of flavor. You know, there's really, it's different in the sense, especially with the bean, the coffee bean, and earthiness. The Bolivar, to me, had more woodiness going on to it. But this is just a very, very, very good cigar. I mean, this is a perfect example of what a Monte 2 should be. You know. Very nice. You know. Nice amount of saltiness that just never goes away. Doesn't fade out. You know, it's not too strong, not too... This is a perfect cigar for somebody who wants a nice, balanced, extremely balanced, level, medium-bodied cigar. You know, very, very, very good. So that's pretty much what I'll say about the second half. Also, a few little, little notes of cedar, some cedar, floral, especially through the nose. But even in the palate, without going through the nose, a lot of floral notes picking up, which I usually associate more with certain, you know, standard Partagas blends. But this cigar is definitely exhibiting that. Very good. Oh, delicious. Yeah, peppery, floral, leathery, coffee-esque notes coming in. Very good. So, in the end, just to say one more thing, it doesn't have to be $100. The thing, it just has to be way too cheap, you know, and you have to know your prices. For instance, you know, when you go on Big Smokers Online, everything's $100. When you go to that site we said, finestcigars.com, which is bogus, it's not $100, but a box of Cuban Esplendidos, 25 Esplendidos, $279. Not gonna fucking happen. I'm sorry. Not going to happen. A box of Siglo 6, $242. Not gonna fucking happen. Okay? Viewer Chicago Card Guy puts it fucking perfectly. Like the old saying says, you get what you pay for. You absolutely will. You pay $279 for a box of Esplendidos. Well, in this case, you might actually get a lot less than what you paid for. You know, because whatever you're getting, it's definitely not Esplendidos, and it's probably not even worth that much money. In fact, they know it's not. It's not worth shit. But they took them $5 to throw it together. That's how they're making money off of it. So, you know, Nick, I really like this information. I'm on the edge of my seat, clicking refresh to hear more. Oh, this was in response, I think, also to the Romeo video with the big smokers. I don't know if you've disclosed your vendor list. I would really like to know who you deal with. And so, another posing the question, like so many have in so many emails and comments. Here is who I deal with. And a number of you I've emailed personally when you asked the question, and I've given you the same list. You know, or maybe I've given you part of it, depending on what you were looking for. But here she goes. HoCubanCigars.com. These cigars are out of Hong Kong. This is one of the very few sites that will take MasterCard. In fact, nobody else on the list does. Well, maybe, but this one definitely, and it's one of the very few, so that's a plus. Number two, they only carry standard release cigars. They don't really have any specials or anything like that, but again, you know, with Damien's what to look out for, in this particular case, does not mean this site is fake. That one thing. Prices are good. Some people may even consider them a little high compared to certain sites. But they are one of the few sites that give you box dates on everything you order. So while they only sell standard cigars, they're able to maintain that supply, and since they only deal with that supply, they're able to give you extra information such as box dates and codes and all that. Factory codes really don't mean much to us anymore, but box dates do. And they can give you that before you even order. So that's a cool thing. FinestCubanCigars.com, also out of Hong Kong. Really great site. This happened to be actually where I got the Bolivar jar. And fantastic service. I'm about to get some more stuff from them. I would order from them any day of the week. Prices are great, you know. Nothing bad to say. Good service, you know. Good, everything came. Cigars came, humidipacked beautifully, fresh. Everything packaged well. You know, standard smokes are a blast. Nothing bad to say about these guys. And definitely not fake. It's a shame that there's a site out there with such a similar name that sells fake cigars, because it's probably caused them a problem a number of times. I had never asked, I don't know, but I would assume, you know, as we said before, cigarsofcuba.com with the hyphens, cigars-of-cuba.com. Another good site. This one is out of Switzerland, just like Cigar One. They have a very similar inventory to Cigar One. Sometimes they have stuff they don't, sometimes it's the other way around, but it gives you another outlet to look for stuff that you're looking for. Regionals, limitadas, jars, standards, you name it, they have it, and the prices are very good. La Casa del Habano NOC. So it's La Casa del Habano-NOC.be. This is a guy who owns a couple of sites actually, but I'll just give you this, and you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay. But if you're into collector stuff and rarities, this guy has some of the rarest shit there is to be had. So this is a good one to know. We'll just move right along. Cigar1.com. The #1 site I always recommend to just about everybody. Why? Because I'm comfortable doing so. Because I know they won't make me look bad and won't let me down. I have never had a problem with them. Dozens of orders later, everything is fine. The service, rate at which they answer emails, all of that, unparalleled. They're willing to do you favors. Really, they did me a favor with the Upman jar when I was having such a hard time getting that. Shipping is fast, prompt, everything's packaged well, never had a lost or damaged item. Prices are a tiny bit high, but like Card Guy said, you get what you pay for. You really do. and I will keep ordering from this site, even though there are lower prices out there, because not only do they give me what I feel is the best service, the best shipping, they have the most immaculate selection that any one site has online, as far as regional editions, limitadas, and all that go. Incredible stuff. Also, you order 3 times, you're allowed to participate in their auctions, where you can bid, kind of like an eBay thing, on boxes of very rare Habanos, and jars, and Grand Reserves, and all sorts of things from the days of past that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get your hands on. So that's a big plus. You know, there's a lot of pluses from dealing with these guys. And, you know, they do not take MasterCard. It's pretty much Amex or bank transfer. That's the only downside. But, like I said, I will continue ordering from them again and again and again. Amazing selection. But here's another thing. Beside all the stuff I said with the shipping, selection, you know, just being overall an amazing site, service, fantastic. Cuban cigars differ in quality, and they differ in quality just from region to region, just like they do from factory to factory. They differ in quality from different distributors. In my opinion, and I'm not alone in this, some of the best Cuban cigars in the world come out of England and Switzerland. For some reason, those two places just get really, really, really good cigars. And so when I pay a little more for my cigars from Cigar One, not only do I know am I getting, you know, fucking great cigars, and not at an overblown price. I'm not saying at all that they're like fucking hundreds of dollars too much. Maybe $40 more, $50, $30, $25. Depends on the box. Depends on what it is, you know. But I've never been disappointed in the quality of the cigars I've received from them. You know, every time, every box, no matter what they were, they've always been great. So these 5 sites that I just gave you, I use on a regular basis, and I use each one for different reasons. You know, I've established myself as a customer with all of them, and they've all benefited me in one way or another. I always give this list to people in emails, and I say, once you have these 5 here, there really is no reason for you to go anywhere else. There really is no reason for you to go anywhere else. There is, between these sites, there is not a fucking thing you can't find that actually still exists. You may not be able to find edition limitada 2001s, like, you know, like Damien said, but that's because you can't get them anymore. Don't be fooled, all right? And unless you're looking for something like extremely out of the ordinary, like a jar that, you know, just isn't around, you know, isn't around anymore, or, you know, should be, you know, some things are harder to get than a Grand Reserves, certain Grand Reserves, but those go out real fast. You got to be careful, because if they are available, or too many of them are available from too long ago, it could be a sign of something fishy going on. Anyway, that's that. The only other reason people shy away from these sites is for prices, and that's a bad move, because when you look at all the different prices here, they're all relatively in the same ballpark. They're all relatively in the same kind of area, with, say, a margin of not even 50. I would say a margin of $35 to $40 between all these sites. The prices are very similar. Once you start dipping down, you know, lower and lower, you're heading into territory that personally I don't feel comfortable ordering from. I just don't. You know, there are some sites out there that I'm going to try that are supposedly, you know, they're less expensive and supposedly they're good. But right now, duty-free Cuban cigars is another one. Like we talked about them before. They are a legitimate site. Their prices, again, fit this kind of range. They actually come out of the Cayman Islands, which I think is one of the reasons he's so like like hates these guys so much and puts that on his site, because it's personal to him. Because a lot of the counterfeits out there come out of the Cayman Islands. So simply because he's sending from there doesn't mean, you know, they're fake. I don't have him on my quote top 5 list, only because I ordered one thing from them, like I said before, and I'm not familiar with anything else. I'm not going to base my overall opinion on that one incident. So That's about it.